What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. I am back on my cut. I'm down 13 pounds in like 2.5 weeks. I'm freaking crushing it. I feel amazing, and what I want to do here is actually first, let me show you something. Move this chair out of the way. Hopefully you guys can see that. Not sure if this angle is gonna work, but your boy is, I'm feeling incredible. Real talk, this is like the best I've ever felt on a cut, and it's only been about 3 weeks. We still got a little bit to do to be shredded, you know what I mean? But overall, man, this is pool body. You can go to a pool like this, pick up a female like this. There's a lot you could do like this. So what I want to do in this video is share some tips. I think my top 8 tips on what has made this diet so freaking easy. We're going to talk about controlling your appetite and what you can do to keep your hunger at bay all day. But first, let me put a shirt on. There we go. Much better. So like I was just saying, this is the easiest I believe my diet and this cut has ever been. And I'm doing things like completely different than I've been doing them in the past. So if you watch older videos, you might find me contradicting myself on some things. But here's the thing, man, about this whole dieting, cutting down, building muscle, getting abs, getting shredded, all that. It's that there's like multiple ways to reach the same end goal, right? I preach about this a lot, but at the end of the day, if you hit your calorie goal and your protein goal every single day, and those goals are set up properly where you're in the right deficit and you're doing all that, the results are gonna come no matter what, whether you're doing keto, whether you're doing vegan, whether you're doing the anabolic diet, eating the recipes, whatever you're doing, if you follow those simple rules, you're gonna see progress no matter what. It is no more complicated than that. So at the end of the day, that's what you gotta do. But I find for me, I'm someone that has a massive appetite, right? Controlling my hunger has always been one of my biggest weaknesses when it comes to this, man. I got friends that can stay in great shape year round and like they just don't seem to be hungry like I am. Like I get ravenously hungry. I'm the type of person that when I go out to a dinner, I'm not just getting like the entree. I want the appetizer, I want the entree, then I want the dessert afterward. I want all of it. It's hard for me to reach that point where I'm actually full, where I'm actually like, okay, now I'm done. It's hard for me to step away from the table, right? But what I've been doing this last 3 weeks, my hunger has stayed at a baseline, right? And I've really changed things up. I feel like I've been talking too much, but I wanted to paint a clear picture of where I'm at. I think some of you guys can relate. So without further ado, tip 1. So the first thing I'm going to recommend you do to control your appetite and keep your hunger nice and at bay, which is completely opposite of how I've done things for years now, and that is I'm no longer fasting in the mornings and I'm actually waking up and eating breakfast almost right away. In the past, I used to just fast through the morning. I would go train fasted, did my cardio fasted with the thought process that like I'd finish my workout, go home and eat, and those like 3-4 hours I saved where I was fasted, I was just basically extra calories I could add on at the end of the day. But what would happen was I would leave the gym and I was starving. I remember if I had like an errand to run, if I had to like run to the store or something, I'd be like walking through the aisles starving. And then I would get home and I would finally eat. And real talk, before this diet, there were times when like I was so hungry when I would get home that's when I would end up like doing a mini binge early on in the day. I'd have like 1,000 calorie breakfast and blow all my calories out early on, and I didn't have the room at the end of the day. But now that I'm actually waking up and eating a breakfast first thing in the morning, what I find is that not only do I feel better while I'm training and I'm doing my cardio, I'm able to lift heavier, I'm able to work harder, but when I'm leaving the gym, I'm not hungry. I mean, I could eat, but I'm not starving, right? So when I get home, it's really easy to just like make another meal, eat it, and go about my day. Because one thing I found when I'm cutting is that the more I let myself get to that point where I'm starving, the more dangerous the whole process becomes. So if I'm skipping a meal in the morning and letting myself reach that starving point, it seems like once I reach that, it's almost like my body knows it exists and I tend to notice it more. And then throughout the day, I'm more hungry, I'm more starving. But if I'm giving myself those meals in a timely fashion throughout the day and my hunger never reaches that critical mass, it really gets so much easier to follow this. So tip number 1, if you haven't been eating a breakfast, eat a breakfast. And if you're wondering what type of breakfast you should eat, we'll cover that at the next tip. And the second tip is going to be to eat at least 20 grams of protein at every meal. I'm not telling you to do that because if you have too much protein at a later meal trying to make up for it, you're not gonna absorb it all, it's not gonna work. That's not what I'm telling you. I'm telling you it because for at least me personally, it has helped a ton with my satiety. Because I was doing this thing before where I would have a really high protein breakfast. I could eat 100 grams of protein at meal 1, and then throughout the day, I found myself snacking. So I would buy like little ice cream sandwiches, baked potato chips, things like that I could fit into my calories. But what I found is after I ate any of those without that protein in there, I was always craving more. But now I've stuck to this golden rule, 20 grams of protein at every meal, no matter what. So if I'm gonna have like an ice cream sandwich, and I'm at least having a scoop of protein or a protein bar with it, I gotta hit that 20-gram protein mark. Protein is way more satietous. I don't know if that's a word, but it does the best job of making you feel full after you eat it as opposed to fat and carbs. So if you're eating just fat or just carbs or just fat and carbs combined at a meal, you're way more likely to be hungry after that meal is done. So this entire cut, these last 3 weeks, my hunger has been the best it's ever been, and I'm prioritizing that 20 grams of protein. Now, I know some people think it might be complicated. You just want a snack, right? And I do consider snacks a meal. So keep that in mind too. If you have 5 meals a day, that could be 3 solid meals. That could be French toast, chicken, rice, and broccoli, and anabolic pizza. And if you have 2 snacks, you're also considering those meals. So that'd be 5 meals in a day. But getting an extra 20 grams of protein in at a meal is not complicated. Protein bars are freaking great. For me personally, one of my go-tos, you already know I'm eating the crap out of ANABARs, 21 grams of protein, and the best tasting protein bar on the market. But this isn't the only option. There are protein bars everywhere. You can just get some. Some aren't gonna taste near as good as an ANABAR, but they work great in a pinch to add on to another snack or to just have as a standalone meal in between bigger meals. Or don't sleep on whey protein powder. And I'm not even telling you to put this stuff in a shake and drink it. I never do that. One of my favorite things, if I'm in a big pinch, literally I will do 40 grams of oatmeal, 1 scoop of protein powder, some 0-calorie sweetener, some sugar-free maple syrup, and some cinnamon. You literally cook the oatmeal in the microwave, stir it up, and boom. You have like a 270-calorie meal with almost 30 grams of protein. You got some fiber in there. It's great in a pinch. If you need something in like 4 minutes, that is great. And that is what I use protein for. So getting that protein in is not complicated. Plus, that keeps pushing you forward towards your overall daily protein goal, which you want to be hitting that too. Like I said, there's 2 rules. It's your daily calorie goal and your protein goal. And ever since I implemented that 20 gram minimum at every meal, God, my hunger is almost completely gone. For real, I have not really had that ravenous starving feeling since I started this diet. And that's real talk. And the third tip is going to be to not be scared of supplements. I know fat burners get a really bad rap, and I'm not telling you to go out and get one. But the problem that people have with supplements and like all this stuff, but the problem people have with supplements is because they think they're a quick fix. They think you can take a fat burner and then you don't change nothing else. You keep ordering pizza, you keep drinking every night, you keep eating with reckless abandon, and you're just gonna drop weight because you popped a pill. Life is not that simple. I wish it was, but it's not. But the right supplements on a diet can do a lot. Even if some of it's placebo, it can do a lot for your mindset to get you in the zone when it comes to your diet. And there's 2 things that I take. One for appetite suppression, I will show you right now. That is yohimbine HCl. Now, I am not advising you to go out and take this right away before Derek from More Place, More Dates gets on this video and tells me I'm an idiot for taking this. I'm not telling anybody to take it. I'm telling you what I'm doing over here. And you can do your own research and come to your own conclusions. But for me, I take 15 milligrams of yohimbine HCl in the morning, and I don't feel too crazy off it. I don't really, first couple of days, maybe I could feel like a heightened sense of awareness, but for me, it keeps my appetite down. There's also been some studies too that have shown that it aids in fat loss. Now, I don't know about that. I don't seem to be cutting any faster than I would any other time. I'm just literally following my own rules. But if it's gonna suppress my appetite and there's potential fat loss benefits and it's this cheap, why not? You know what I mean? And then the other one I take, and this one helps me a ton mentally because this helps me shed water weight. That is dandelion root. I'm taking 1,500 milligrams, which is 3 capsules 2 times a day. And what I noticed this does, it makes me have to go to the bathroom more, which is helping flush some of this water out of my system. So let's say I have a day where maybe I'm eating an extra anabolic recipe that maybe has a little more salt in it or something. I'm gonna wake up that next day, although I know I hit my calorie goal, I might be up a pound or 2 because I had all this salt and I'm holding more water. This keeps the water off me. So between the 2, the yohimbine's helping with my appetite. This is keeping my water down. Overall, these have been a game changer on this cut for me because there's not days where I'm waking up a little more bloated and I'm upset, even though I know 100% that I hit my numbers and I crushed it, my cardio was knocked out. Like, these 2 are keeping me in check. So don't be scared of supplements, just don't think that they're magic. And the 4th thing that I do that I've been doing this one, so this ain't nothing new, but drinking a gallon of water a day. I've had this as a priority in my diets for a while, but it's something that I just think is almost goes without really having to say it. The more water you're drinking, the more full your stomach's gonna be, the more hydrated you are, the better you're gonna feel, and it's gonna help control your appetite because your stomach's gonna be filled up, you're gonna get fuller faster. And I always use this example. Have you ever gone out and eaten a big meal somewhere? Maybe it was a cheat meal and you ate a ton of food and you're pretty full, but you're not like over the top, but then you realize all out of nowhere you're like really thirsty and you drink a bunch of water and that like takes you over the edge. Now you're just like the most full you've ever been. Yeah, think about that, but the opposite of that. If that water's already there before the meal, then you're gonna get fuller that much quicker. And now you guys might notice my water's blue. It's because I put aminos in it. So right now in this, I like to do 1 scoop of the Atomic Bombsicle Blue Raz Aminos. It has a little bit of caffeine in it, kind of keeps me up all day. And then that way I don't have too much caffeine in it. I'll add a packet or 2 of this Starburst Blue Raspberry drink mix. Only 5 calories a packet, and the flavor's amazing. And yeah, so my gallons every day, it's good. It's like Kool-Aid, so it's not bad. I find drinking plain water for me is just not in the cards. I'm not drinking plain water. And also, I gotta give a shout out to diet soda. Don't be scared of this stuff either, man. If you have a craving late at night, or I find myself maybe a little bit hungry and I wanna knock it out, the carbonation in a 0 sugar root beer really seems to crush it. Or if you're not a root beer fan, I buy a lot of 0 calorie Diet Coke, caffeine free. Both these are great, and I'm not scared to have them right before bed when I'm trying to sleep because neither of them have caffeine. So, little tip for you. And the 5th thing that I've been doing that's kind of kept everything everything under control is that I have really been using caffeine more as a tool and less as just something that I'm like addicted to, that I gotta have because I like the feeling of it, right? Used to be first thing in the morning, I'd be cutting, I'd be fasted, right? And I'd have like no energy, and I would wake up and I would have one full scoop of pre-workout before the gym. I'd have one full scoop of full caffeine aminos. Then after I was leaving the gym, I would grab an energy drink, and then I would be drinking caffeine all day long. This always led to me having an energy crash. And when your energy is down, you're crashing like that, those hunger signals go clear through the roof. You're way more likely to binge when you feel like crap and you are tired. But now I've taken my servings and I've cut them way down, but I just spread them out throughout the day. So I always have a little bit of that stemmed out feeling. And caffeine is a known appetite suppressant. If you drink black coffee, you probably already know. It's why it's so easy to skip breakfast at times for a lot of people, because you're drinking your caffeine right in the morning. But for me now, before I go to the gym, instead of doing a full scoop of pre, I'll do like a quarter scoop. Instead of doing a full scoop of the aminos, I'll do like a quarter scoop. I keep it just enough to give me that little boost, but not enough to cause me to crash. And then when I'm drinking my caffeine throughout the rest of the day, I never reach that point where I'm feeling ugh. But I do get the benefits of the appetite suppression. So some things to think about. It's weird, you don't look at it that way until like you've been in it for a while, then you quit doing it that way and you cut your dosages down, and you're like, holy crap, that was having such a negative effect. It's wild when you think about it. And the sixth thing that I've been doing, which I've been doing this for a while, so this isn't really something that's changed, but if you haven't watched the channel in a minute, and there's like older videos you've watched, then maybe it's changed for you. But I always try to preach this, but you already know what we do on this channel. You see all the videos, you see all the recipes, you see the way that I eat. What controls your hunger and your cravings more than anything is simply eating foods that you actually enjoy. On old diets, I'd be on chicken, rice, and broccoli, and when you're eating that for like every meal, you're maybe having eggs and oatmeal in the morning, and everything you eat just kind of lacks flavor, it isn't good, then you find yourself fantasizing about what that next big meal is gonna be. When's that cheat meal coming? I remember being balls deep in a cut, and I'm on like YouTube watching people make crazy pizzas and like fantasizing about where I was gonna go get donuts this weekend. It becomes a really unhealthy relationship. But when your diet is one that you actually like, then it really starts to feel less like a diet. So for example, eating foods you enjoy. One of my favorite go-tos right now is to meal prep out batches of my cheesecake bites. I freeze them, put them in Tupperware, portion them out, and when I want something sweet but high in protein, low in fat, low in calories, it's gonna knock out my sweet tooth, I just have one of these. I mean, look at that, man. That cheesecake filling, the graham cracker crust, and normally you think this wouldn't fit on a diet, but it literally fits right in. So, those are so freaking good. So on that same note, what you need to understand is that no food is inherently bad for you. Some foods might have a little more salt, you might hold a little more water. Some foods are gonna have a little more fiber, some are gonna have a little more sugar, but at the end of the day, as long as you're hitting your goal numbers, you're gonna be just fine. So I always recommend, man, it's not just the chicken, rice, and broccoli, the eggs and the oatmeal is getting you shredded. It's literally just those numbers. So I implore you, if you haven't tried it, give some of these recipes a try. And if you want the book of secrets right in your pocket, my cookbook is available at the first link in my description box. Literally every recipe on this channel, whether you want pizza, whether you want burgers, whether you want these cheesecake bites or donuts, whatever you want, I guarantee it's in here. But I'll show you how to make the better, higher protein, diet-friendly version. So don't be afraid to eat the foods you love. As long as you're following the rules, you're gonna be just fine. And you get it once, you get every future recipe I have for free. One heck of a deal, and I appreciate everybody that is supported. Thank you. And this next tip is fairly new to me, at least as a like solid priority. But one thing I've been forcing myself to do is to actually get adequate sleep every night. I don't know about you guys, but I grew up playing video games, being up till 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, having like a completely backwards sleep schedule. My dad would yell at me for it. My mom thought I was worthless. My girlfriend said I wasn't father material. You know that old story? But yeah, I come from like a night type background. I love being up at night, but I forced myself to actually go to bed at a decent time and wake up at a decent time. And I'm telling you, the difference when you are on lower calories, when you wake up and you got a full night's sleep and you actually feel good, you're actually happy, you're actually in a good mood, what that does to keep your hunger at bay, I literally can't even emphasize it enough. I know everybody says this everywhere you go for everything, not just dieting and what I'm talking about. People tell you, you need to get your sleep, you need to get your sleep. And these last couple weeks, even if I worked late, I only had maybe an hour to kind of hang out and do some stuff at night, I forced myself to go lay down in bed, I put on an audiobook, I listen to it, and I go to sleep. And let me tell you, not only am I losing like 4 to 5 pounds overnight, a lot of that's water, by the way, so don't think I'm just like losing all that weight. It's just the natural process of things. But I'm waking up feeling well rested. I hit my cardio harder. My gym session goes harder. I'm burning more calories. I'm not as hungry. I'm not miserable. I'm not looking for food to fill some void to make me happy, if that makes sense. So if sleep is something you haven't been prioritizing and you wonder maybe why your cuts are harder, why your appetite's out of control, why your girlfriend doesn't think you're husband material, perhaps it's that sleep. So I can't stress this one enough. I really can't. And then my final tip that I gotta stress that, like I said, this one's gonna be different than what I've recommended in the past, but I really do believe what's helped me a ton is from the moment I wake up, I'm eating every 2 to 3 hours. I'm never going longer than that without getting at least 20 grams of protein and a nice meal in my system. Because like I was saying earlier, I think it's detrimental when you let yourself reach that point where you're absolutely starving. I think if you wanna control your hunger long term, you gotta avoid that at all costs. So with everything going on in my life right now, for instance, we just got our new warehouse. I've been over there a lot and I gotta be out of the house for hours. Anytime that I leave, I am taking Tupperware and protein bars with me. That way, if the hunger hits, I got a meal, so I could eat some cheesecake bites if I wanted. I do French toast a lot, the protein version, that's really easy. I like to wrap up burritos and take them. Really just some of the easier recipes on my channel that are easier for meal prep. I'll take some of those, and then having a good old-fashioned protein bar with you is just probably the most convenient thing you can do, honestly. But anymore, that is my goal. Now, I'm not really clock watching all day. I'm like, okay, I gotta eat at this exact time. I'm not stressing it that much, but like my body knows, because I've been on this schedule now for a minute. I just start to feel it kind of creeping up. I get that little bit of hunger in my stomach, and I'm just like, all right, what time is it? When did I eat? 2 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago, 3 hours ago? Okay. Then I eat another meal, and it's really that easy, and that has kept my hunger freaking right here. And I really can't stress this to you guys enough. Like, hunger is my greatest weakness when it comes to diet. When I'm literally on point, like the results that I get with my genetics, not that they're great, but I can lose weight and get lean pretty quickly when I'm on track. But the one thing that always is the nail in my coffin is my hunger. It gets out of control. And you know, you've been on this channel for a while, man. I've been on this journey. I've been trying to figure out like what keeps the hunger from coming at me crazy. Literally, it just goes back to like what I've been hearing since day freaking one. You wake up, you eat a breakfast, you eat every 2 to 3 hours, you're getting X amount of protein at every meal, you get a full night's sleep, all that stuff. It's crazy because we try all this like different stuff trying to like figure out what's perfect, but really like the old heads that have been talking about it for a minute are pretty much right. Like it's really not hard. It's kind of doing what you've kind of always been told. Now I understand a video like this isn't a one size fits all solution. This might not work for you. This might not be ideal for you. But I think for most people, this is probably how you want to do it. All I know is that for me personally, this has been the easiest my diet has ever been. You know, I do 1 cheat meal a week on all my diets, right, that I've ever done. It's like a rule for me. I'm not stepping on stage, but I do like to go out and be a little social. I have a cheat meal every Saturday. And normally I'd go into those cheat meals like a ravenous animal. Couldn't wait. Today's Friday, right, when I'm filming this. And all week I'd be obsessing about what I'm gonna go eat. And right now I literally like don't even care because I'm not starving. My hunger is not out of control. So anyways, guys, I know I've been rambling a lot in this video, but I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, smash the thumbs up button for me. Comment anything down below. Helps the algorithm out. Hit that subscription button. Don't forget my cookbook is available at the first link in my description. And we got those lovely ANABars on sale. FinalBossPerformance.com. Code RGF10 saves you 10%. I'm telling y'all, if you like hate the aftertaste of regular protein bars, you don't think any of them are any good, you can never see one just being a meal, then try one of these. It'll literally change everything. I'm telling you, man. I wouldn't lie to you. Big things coming. Flying a videographer down next week. I might be hiring full time. We got more vlogs coming. I'm gonna start doing some more crazy videos, get me out of this house and just do some different stuff. So lots of cool stuff coming. If you guys have any ideas for like videos that you want me to go do that require me like leaving, maybe visiting different restaurants, maybe eating all fast food in a day, want to see some workouts, y'all let me know down below because I'm gonna videographer here for a week, and if it works out and we got the right ideas and the right content, then I'm gonna be bringing someone on full time to make this all better and level it up. So anyways, we've been here long enough. Appreciate you guys as always. I'm out. Peace. Oh yeah, follow me on social media because I'm doing physique updates like every day, accountability, stuff like that. So you're gonna see how lean I am in the gym and all that stuff. I'm filming it, baby. I'm out.